1, 2,
3, 4,
5, 6, 7,
8,
9, 10.
Imagine yourself as a young 19-year-old sailor aboard a Navy destroyer. You're out in the Pacific Ocean near Okinawa, Japan. Suddenly, off in the distance, you hear the roar of what sounds like hundreds of planes. As they get closer, you realize that these planes are flown by the infamous kamikaze pilots and are heading directly towards your ship. Many of them are shot down, but one plane managed to crash into your ship. You feel the ship shudder from the impact. This one plane manages to kill a dozen of your shipmates and wounding many more. This is only one of over thousands of stories World War II veterans have to share. It is important to preserve all of the experiences of those who fought during this horrendous time, as well as what they were fighting for in order for future generations to understand and appreciate. I feel it is my duty as a veteran to commemorate all who served and hold a special interest in World War II veterans. There are many ways we can learn all about to commemorate World War II veterans. One such way is by speaking with family members who are veterans and help them document their experiences for future generations. Another way is by visiting the World War II monument in Washington, D.C. and learning about what each part represents. A final way is by participating in the Triangle Flight of Honor program. Veterans of World War II faced the deadliest conflicts in human history. The Greatest Generation is a term coined by Tom Brokaw as those living through the Great Depression as well as fighting in World War II. In his book, The Greatest Generation, Tom Brokaw sums it up best when he describes these veterans as men and women who fought not for fame and recognition, but because it was the right thing to do. The responsibility of my generation, as well as future generations, is to help keep this history alive. There are many opportunities for up-close and personal experiences that can teach us all about the war. The importance of World War II and what our soldiers did cannot perish with its veterans. We can all commemorate these special men and women. An easy way to learn about the history of World War II veterans is by simply talking to them. Over 16 million Americans served overseas in the war, and many of us may have older relatives who can still share those stories with us. We can also learn from those who were back in the U.S. that supported the war effort at home. People across the country understand the importance of remembering these veterans, and they are creating ways to give these men and women the honor they deserve. The Honor Flight Network sponsors trips throughout the U.S. for veterans to visit the World War II monument erected in their honor in Washington, D.C. The Honor Flight Network website states that based on 2008 statistics, we are losing World War II vets at a rate of 1,000 per day. Flight of Honor allows veterans across the country an all-expense paid trip to Washington, D.C. to see the World War II monument, as well as other significant points of interest. The trip is solely funded by donations from the public. Veterans return back to their local airport to a hero's welcome from the public. I was part of the November 2010 Heroes Welcome and have applied to be a guardian on one of those spring flights leaving RDU. The World War II monument in Washington, D.C. was dedicated just before Memorial Day in 2004. It is made up of a circle of 56 granite pillars, each bearing a bronze wreath and representing the U.S. and its territories of 1941 to 1945. It also includes two arches inscribed with Atlantic and Pacific, a reflecting pool, and a field of stars made up of 4,000 gold stars in remembrance of the over 400,000 Americans lost in the war. I hope that you all can agree on how important it is to commemorate World War II veterans. There are many ways we can do our part in supporting this generation of veterans, as well as veterans of all ages. And that's it.
all right.